I figured out the ending to Stranger Things, and it all has to do with Star Wars. Before we get into why, my name's Joe, and for all things film and TV, make sure you hit that follow button. Ever since the very first episode of Stranger Things, the show and Star Wars have always been heavily connected. The show opens on November 6, 1983, which is the same year that Star Wars Return of the Jedi hit theatres, and that is very important. There's been references to Star Wars scattered throughout the entire series, and the Duffer Brothers even confirming that Vecna's entrance scene during the Sorcerer episode 4 of season 5 is directly inspired by Vader's hallway scene in Rogue One. That is not the only connection between Vecna and Star Wars, because after breaking down the entire life of Henry Creel, it turns out he has a very similar life to this man right here.
Unlike sand.
If you've seen or know about the Stranger Things Broadway play The First Shadow, you'll know that Henry Creel was actually a normal kid around the age of 10 when he is transported to Dimension X for the first time, and he is corrupted by the Mind Flayer. Very similar to a slave boy from Tatooine that started being groomed by Darth Sidious at the very same age. Henry occasionally acts out on his inner darkness, but he tries to stay good because of his love for Patty Newby. And if that doesn't sound like my boy Anakin, I don't know what does.
Liar!
Ultimately, they both lose their love and succumb to the corruption and darkness that has been grooming them for years, and they fall in the exact same way, even killing kids.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
In doing so, they both become deformed and disfigured. It is almost a one-for-one. And here is how I think Stranger Things will end. In Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader is turned back to the light by his son Luke, and he then defeats Darth Sidious, who is effectively the Mind Flayer for Vecna. I believe Mr. Watsit is the good side within Henry Creel, and either Holly and Eleven will have a massive part in turning Vecna back into Henry Creel to the light, and then he will destroy the Mind Flayer just as Darth Vader destroys Darth Sidious. I think this will then destroy the Upside Down, which, as I said earlier, is set in 1983, the same year that Return of the Jedi released, and that will sever the connection between Dimension X and the Right Side Up. Season 5 Volume 1 focused so heavy on Henry Creel and the references to the First Shadow that I think that it's almost inevitable that they're going to do the exact same thing as Anakin and redeem Henry Creel. Let me know if you think I'm right in the comments, and if you have your own theories, then please let me down below, and follow for more Stranger Things content.